Well, for sure, the market right now, it's booming. We had, during the first part of COVID, we had a downturn like everybody. Everything was shut. You couldn't go meet clients. But around June of last year, of 2020, we started delivering the boats that we had in build, and we started seeing that clients really bought into our concept of Your Private Island. So Ferretti Group launched this campaign, Your Private Island, because on a boat you really are in the safest place, because you can test the crew and you can test your friends that come on board, and you're not in contact with anybody else, not close enough to be able to run the risk of getting infected. So I think the market has really bought into this. A lot of people haven't had the chance to travel, so they understood that a boat was a nice way to travel around, to be able to move. You know, if you have a house in a place that gets locked down because of a spike in cases, you can't go to the house. If you have a boat, you can move it to somewhere else. So I think that gave a big sense of freedom to a lot of people, and this is why in the yachting industry we're facing this big boom of requests. The first boat show I did as a professional, I was doing an internship in Ferretti craft. It was '98. Clients used to be a lot more owner-operators. Every single viewing that you were doing on a boat would end up in the engine room, talking about the technical side, showing, and the client really going in. And today, I would say that less than 3% of our visits end up having a look at the engine room. I think a bit also like the car industry, people don't look under the bonnet anymore as much. They like to see that it's clean, that it's all got its plastic carters, whatever, so that the engine is there and there's written Jaguar, there's written whatever, Range Rover, Ferrari, but they're not as interested anymore in that part. They take for granted that it's going to work, that there's everything you need, and what they're looking more is the actual boat, the way you can use it, the fun you can have, the relaxation you can have. So that's a big shift and big change there's been. Then we still have quite a few clients from the past that are still passionate people about the system, still operate their own boats on their own or with a deckhand if the boat is a bit bigger. For me, I'm passionate about the sea, so I do that a lot more. You get that more on the sailing side, while on the motor side, I think we've seen, and that's why it's attracting probably a lot more people. We're seeing a lot more people that come to it as you could approach the purchase of a villa. Most of the clients come along and know that they'll need staff, and that's why they always ask for questions. So how many crew do I need to operate this? And I like answering to my clients with a question, asking really how they're going to use the boat, because you know, we're on a very large boat here. You could have anything between 3 and 5 people on board operating it. It really depends what you're going to do. If you're going to use the boat mainly in the marina or for day cruises, you're not really going to sleep on the boat. The kind of service you need is high, but you're not really working as much the crew, and you can have maybe a smaller crew. But if you tell me, during the day we got kids, we have friends coming on board, we have lunchtime, we have 25 people, and in the evening we like to have dinner on land, and then we like to cruise at night so that we can wake up in a different place every morning, then that's where you need a lot of crew. So we do try, I wouldn't say to educate, but to help navigate the clients, especially the newer ones to the industry, on what they really need, because it would be crazy to give them false expectations where, oh yeah, you can take a boat and go out on your own. We were the first ones in the yachting industry to publish a sustainability report. We started in a completely different way and approach than I think all the other competitors. We started from the facilities where we build, so we've invested quite a big amount of money, over 40 or 50 million, for all of our 6 shipyards to create systems to recoup energy, to use thermal energy so that you're reducing your impact and the need of energy, solar panels. So we've reduced over the last 5 years, over 20% our need of energy for building the same amount of boats. The next step we did was that we've been developing and studying and researching materials to improve insulation in boats, because clearly you're going to need more power to cool down or heat up, but normally in a boat it's cool down a boat if you have less insulation. But insulation normally weighs a lot, and weight is a big enemy of resistance and therefore of fuel emissions for boats. So that's where we've gone really into working for reducing weight of the insulation, both thermal insulation but also sound insulation. Here the luxury is to be able to have low sound emissions. And then we've also started working on things like solar panels. You can here you can see the Wally 43 tender. We've given an option. Instead of buying a generator as an option, you can put solar panels, lithium batteries, and you can stay 5 hours on your Seakeeper, your stabilizers, your air conditioning, all of your radio systems, and party mode, cooking appliances, and that means you can enjoy it in complete quietness, and you're actually using solar panel power and power created from your engine when you're cruising, or when you're in the dock, you can plug in and charge up. So these are the real things that make an impact today. We are working with universities and technology companies that are looking into hydrogen, that are looking into fuel cells, that are looking into heat recoup generators, and so on. So we have many programs that you're going to see in the next few years coming out. We're working with the major manufacturers, with MTU, with Volvo, with MAN, to develop diesel electric systems that do, though, reduce emissions. Because if you're just plugging a diesel engine and generating electricity and then putting it into an electric motor, you're actually adding one step. One step is less loss of efficiency. People do care, and it would be crazy to put a label of being just a moment or just a fashion. It's actually true. We have to take care, and I think a lot more people are using boats at sea realize that, if you don't have a sea, you're not going to be using your boat anymore. So we need to really take care. I think the nicest innovation is, and what we're trying to concentrate more and more, is to try to give the possibility to be in a bay on your boat using your systems, but being in a quiet mode, which means no noise, which is always pollution, and also means no smell and no diesel or petrol fumes coming out. So what we did on the Wally 43, we're now trying to bring onto even bigger models. Clearly they use a lot more power, so it's not as straightforward, but it's just so much fun to be in complete quietness and enjoy your boat.